Hey, it's Tim here. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through how to set yourself up for the Tableau conference. It's free this year, so all you need to do is sign up. I'm going to be walking you through the sign up process and then how to set up your schedule and how to make the most of the website and all the things going on. But before I do, I just want to let you know that Ravi and I are going to be doing a live stream for each of the key events. To find out these live streams, you just go to the Tableau Tim channel page. You can find this just by clicking the face or going to any of the links you see on the video. Click on the name and it'll take you to the channel page. And if you scroll down right at the top, there's an upcoming live stream section. You can see that I've just literally this minute added all three live streams to the channel. So you can go ahead and set a reminder for any one of these, and it will of course remind you that these are happening. So you can see that I've just done that. The reminders are on, and now when those events are live, you'll get notified. Now, because it's a live reaction, we will be talking over the main feed that's coming from Tableau. So if you don't want any interruptions as you watch the event, then the live stream might not be for you. But if you want our live reaction, if you're familiar with conference, you want a little bit of fun and banter during the conference, then this is going to be the place to be. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's get back into this video and let me show you how to set yourself up for conference. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so the first step is to sign up for Tableau Conference. Let me show you how to do that. I've got the Tableau Conference page here. If you don't know how to get to this, it's a really easy way. If you just go to tableau.com, and don't go to the products. I'm always going to the coming soon page. So that's the one it goes to. But if you just go to tableau.com, on the very right hand side, there's this option here for Tableau Conference. Select that. It will take you through to the main Tableau Conference homepage. And you can actually sign up straight from here. There's a registration button right here on the right hand side. And you're pretty much good to go. Let me make this the full screen so we get a nice spaced out experience. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and click the register now button, and let's just go ahead and see what happens. So when we go to the registration page, it gives us a little bit of a preamble, and it asks us to sign in or create an account. Essentially what they want us to do is to create a Tableau account. So let's go ahead and do this. Sign in or create an account. When we do this, it brings up this page. Now, typically this page should open up a Tableau credentials page. Now, this is going to be an ID that you've used with Tableau before. I'm going to change this to my own login here. Click sign in, and you'll see that it basically sends you right through. Now, because I've used my Tableau login, it actually has some details about me already from previous events as well, and from my profile. So it should auto-complete this as much as it can. I also get this cookie bot notification here at the top. I'm going to allow all. The cookies sometimes, if you don't allow all, you don't get the best experience. I'm also just going to disable my ad blocker here because sometimes ad blockers get in the way of forms and stuff like that. So if you're having the same issue, be sure to do that as well. Now you can see here that my personal information is there and it says that I'm registered. That was pretty much it. I gave it my Tableau ID and I'm done. Now, if I look at my contact information, you can see it has some basic information already. And there's a little bit of a survey that basically tries to find out who I am. Now, what they've done is I think they've used the registration details from last year, and that's essentially what they're going with this year. So if you signed up to conference last year, you might not have to fill this in, but if you have filled this in before, you might find that this is already done. Now, once you've signed in, you're probably wondering, well, how do I know that I'm registered? Well, you can print the confirmation here on the right-hand side. So let's go ahead and select that, and you can see that you get the details here to say that, look, you are registered, and it is for this year because you see everything is actually about the hashtag 21. That's pretty much the only way I could actually tell that this wasn't the previous conference. It was actually this year's conference, but it's good to know that that's there. Now, the other thing you're going to need to bear in mind is that now that you signed up, there's a couple of things to do. So if you go ahead to the Tableau conference events page, let's just open that on a new tab. You'll see that now you're here, everything is pretty much good to go. We can now go ahead and start looking at our schedule. So when you start to build our schedule, again, it's going to ask us to sign in. So this time, let's sign in rather than register. And it will look at my Tableau credentials and it should just send me straight in. I know that I'm logged in because on the top right, you can see that it says TN. Those are my initials, Tim Nguyen. So that's what it says on the top right. Now, what I can normally do is add a profile picture to this. And so we'll just try and go through this entire page and make sure that we're all set up for conference. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that Tableau Conference is actually happening in 3 different time zones. Essentially, there's 3 different broadcasts. The first of which is typically going to be in the US, the second in Europe, and the last in Asia. That's typically how it's worked in the past. And so it actually means that the US conference will run from the 9th to the 11th. This will actually be the first time lots of the events are aired. Now, it's sort of difficult because, of course, it's not obvious necessarily when you look at the page which day it's actually referring you to. So if you see here November the 10th as the opening keynote, November 11th, those dates could be different depending on the time zone you're in. So how do you find that out? Well, the first thing to do is to just go and try and build your schedule. So, well, the first thing we can do is we go here to the top menu where you can see we've got a range of options. You've got My TC21, you've got Episodes, which has a sub menu for broadcast schedule and all episodes. Essentially, each event, each little thing is like an episode. Each little video, each session is an episode. There's obviously the ways to connect, the help page here, which just gives you some FAQs around the Tableau conference. And then you've got some aspects beyond the conference itself. So what's happening beyond the conference that is maybe interesting to you? And these are all things that are happening all the time anyway. You don't necessarily need to come to conference to take part in them. They happen all year round. So Tableau is just letting you know that these things exist. But let's start first with the My TC21 option. So if we click on that, you'll see that we get here and it says, hey, let's get started. If we scroll down, you'll see that I haven't added any episodes to watch. I haven't planned any brain dates and I haven't booked any Tableau doctor appointments. I'm seeing this on the right-hand side of the page. So let's go ahead and search and browse episodes and let's start adding our first thing to the schedule. Now that we're here, you can see that at the top, it gives me the option to see the broadcast schedule. And on the left-hand side, I've got some filters, okay? So you can see here that the Tableau conference, the 2021 keynote, is showing here on November the 9th. So if you saw the landing page that I went to, it was telling me November the 10th. And that is primarily because I think what the website is doing is it's showing me the time zones relevant to where I'm looking at the website from. So November 10th is technically the date that I'd be seeing the keynote if I was actually watching it using the UK time zones. But I'm not going to be. I'm going to be using the American time zones because I'm going to be doing a live stream, as I've already suggested with Ravi. So these times here are actually the American times, and it's just showing us all the events. If you want to filter this, you can obviously go here to the left-hand side, select the broadcast regions, and you can see here the first broadcast is in the Americas. So if I go ahead and tick that, you'll see that now I'm only seeing the Americas broadcast and everything I see here should basically be consistent with that. If, however, I was to deselect that and let's say I select the second broadcast, which is Asia Pacific. If we look at the times, you'll see that it goes to November the 10th at 1 a.m. to 2:15. And if I again deselect that and we go to the final broadcast, you can see the times change again for 9 a.m. to 10:15 if I use the Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Okay, so there are slightly different time zones. And I think these time zones are based on my time, essentially where I'm looking at this website from. So I'm going to go ahead and tick the Americas broadcast because that's the one I'm actually going to be using. And now that I've done that, I can sort of collapse this little filter pane on the right-hand side. It doesn't want to collapse properly. You can see it's kind of playing around there. They're going to be bugs. These things get fixed. But essentially, we're going to go back to the right-hand side here, and I'm going to add the conference keynote to my list. So let's go ahead and add that. Now that we've done that, let's go down and we can also go down to the episode type. Now, the episode type tends to be some sort of grouping that's essentially been selected by Tableau. You've also got themes, which tend to be sort of around different aspects. So think of the themes as tracks and think of the episode types as more of a format. So let's say a discussion is more about an episode type, but the theme is more about, the high level topic. Are we talking about customer success? Are we talking about design? Are we just talking about technical things? Are we talking about soft skills? All of those tend to be themes. You've then, of course, got the category and industry. These are pretty straightforward. I don't need to explain these. And the last one here is role. This is really interesting because Tableau is deliberately trying to do something that I think Salesforce does really well here. And that is to tell you, look, what content is pitched at your level. If you're the analyst, they've got something for you. If you're the business user, data leader, developer, decision maker, professional, or if you're new to Tableau, there's even an option for you there. So these are all great filters. And what I will say to you is use them with caution, because you see, the thing is with conference this year is that it's virtual. So of course, these things are going to be broadcast at Pacific times, but after conference, this tends to be available to everyone. So what you should really do is go to the sessions that you want to participate in actively during the conference. The stuff you want to be tweeting about, the stuff you want to be sharing with your colleagues, the stuff that someone was going to ask you, hey, what's come from conference? What did you learn from the session? Go to the sessions that are going to arm you with knowledge to do that. because you can always go back and watch the other things there that you wanted to catch a little bit later on. They tend to do that a week or two afterwards. They tend to put all the sessions back up online through the same sort of interface, and you can just play them and watch them as videos. So that's pretty much how to sort of navigate this page. I tend to do this in a very sort of organized way. I tend to come back to this page and I just search for things because I've been to conference pretty much for the last 6 years. I'm very fortunate to have been able to go to it both in person, and also last year went to it virtually. And I really enjoyed it last year. So what I tend to do is I just go in here and search a few things. So the 3 sessions that I'll be live streaming with Ravi are the keynote, which I've already added to my schedule. Let's look up devs on stage. I'm just going to search devs and you'll see that it comes up. I'll add that to my list. Don't forget, I'm looking at the Americas time zone, so be sure to check the time zone that you're adding this from. I've got the filter here. You can see it on the left. And then the last stage is Iron Viz. Iron Viz. Let's go ahead and search that. I didn't type that properly because I think it's spelt as one word. No, still nothing. So now you can see that I've searched for Iron Viz already. Let's go ahead and hit enter. And I think what was going on before, the reason I couldn't find it before is probably because I did actually have a filter enabled. But you can see here, I have the 3 different times now. This is sort of bizarre. You really want to watch this live. You don't want to watch this the next day, if that makes sense. So you kind of really do need to watch it on November the 10th, regardless of where you are in the world, because watching the replay is not going to make any sense because you'll already, like, Twitter will have spoiled this for you. Most of the people watching the conference are going to be on Twitter and LinkedIn. Trust me, you just need to watch this in the American time zone, wherever you are in the world. Wake up early and vote as well, because of course you can't vote if you're not watching it live. So definitely be sure to check this out. And so now if I go to my schedule and we go to my events, actually let's just go to my TC21. You can see that here it is. It's actually on November the 10th itself. I should have added devs on stage. I'm not sure I actually did add it. So let's search it again here. Devs on stage. Let's go to Americas and search devs. This has been added. So it's added on November the 11th, 5 p.m. to 5:45. That is UK time, if that makes sense. So when you look at these times, it's important to factor in that these are basically showing you the times in your current time zone. So this is, it's really strange to sort of understand this really clearly, but basically this is the time it would be for you in your current time zone. It's not the American time, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead, reset all the filters, and let's just see what's in my TC21 schedule. So of course, the reason I wasn't seeing it before is actually because it's on a different day. So you can see devs on stage here is on the next day, and then on the November 12th, I have nothing else selected. So what you want to do is go to my TC21, go to the right hand side here, put a bunch of stuff in your schedule, do the stuff that you want to go check out. Also be sure to check out Ravi and I's talk. So if I just search Ravi, it'll probably come up with here, Tableau drill down, how to level up in Tableau. As this is the session that Ravi and I have done, you can see here the 3 different time zones. I've deliberately searched it like this so you can find out which one best matches you. I'm going to go ahead and add all of these to my list just so that I remember when it's streaming in different periods, because of course these sessions are being streamed as if they're live, but of course it won't be live. So I need to know when people are tweeting about it, what's actually going on. So by putting in my schedule, I'm actually aware that it's streaming, and therefore I can take part in any discussion that's going on elsewhere. So that's pretty much it for the my TC session. You can see that it works pretty well. Now, if we go to the next page, you can obviously look at the broadcast schedule and all the episodes. You can filter those to your heart's content. Now, one of the other things you want to do at conference is connect with people. So the Tableau community, or Tableau in general, have used this hashtag DataFam. So if you were just to search on Twitter, DataFam, hashtag DataFam, you'd find a whole load of people from the Tableau community taking part in that hashtag, especially during conference, because of course, that's the conference that we use. In fact, there I am. You can just see that I've popped through on the little shortcuts, on the little, not shortcuts, the little Instagram images. That's kind of funny. The perfect timing. I don't know if that's just a loop or something. I also know quite a few people that are popping up here. I won't bother naming them, but it's kind of nice to see that. But if I go down, you can do this thing called brain dates. Now, brain dates are a great way to meet new people. and also talk about things that you might be passionate about. It might be events, it might be issues at work, challenges, whether they're soft challenges, skilling people up, training people. All of these things get discussed at Brain Dates. The other thing you can do is you can talk to other people. Essentially, there's a Slack channel that's been set up to essentially allow you to talk to other people at conference. So rather than all talking on Twitter and creating this noisy space, they've actually set up a Slack channel that you can get into and meet and talk to other people. This is kind of nice because you can also set up sort of individual threads from that. I'll maybe do that in a separate video. It doesn't sort of make sense here. But then the last thing to do is obviously taking any selfies that you want to share on the Twitter feed, like you saw on the top of the page. And what they're doing is they're generally capturing everything from these hashtags and putting them together in this nice space. So here you can start to see a sense of excitement of what's going on around conference. I'll be using this throughout conference, so be sure to check in on my Twitter feed to see what's happening there. You can also just go see the photo gallery separately. So if you click on the photo gallery, all those photos that people are taking pop up here. So I always find this interesting. Tableau do warn you that this is public. So I love going through this and just seeing who's taking photos and seeing like all the familiar faces and seeing people have lots of different attempts and try different things out. We even have pets coming up on this page. It's such a great way to get to know people in the community, and it just shows you the vibrance. Like everyone's smiling, everyone's got energy. We're not going to a physical conference. This is all remote, and people are putting in great effort to sort of get excited for conference. So I really like this page. This is a nice way of having an activity that we can all do virtually. So that's pretty much everything on the Connect page. If I go to the Help page, you've got technical support essentially for the conference. Now, the Slack channel is going to be a really good place to find lots of this stuff. There's a great set of videos by Tableau about brain dates, joining Slack, and booking Tableau doctor appointments. Go check these videos out. They're really, really good. I encourage you to check them out. If you've never been to conference before, be also sure to check out the FAQ. You've got the general technical episodes. All of the stuff is here. Honestly, there's no point asking me because it is all here. But of course, if there is something that you don't find on here, be sure to reach out on Twitter, in my Discord, or anywhere else, and I'll be pretty happy to respond. I will say, don't send me private messages because they don't help people. If I just have a one-on-one conversation, other people can't benefit. So if you're going to message me, definitely always send me something public. And if it can't be public for whatever reason, just say that in the private message and we can go from there. But nonetheless, this is the best way to sort of get help and support for conference. Now, I've already gone through the Beyond TC page. This is pretty obvious. But on the top right-hand side, you can see that you have essentially your profile. So Timothy Nguyen, my schedule, view my on-demand episodes, view a Tableau account. All of this stuff is all there. My on-demand episodes will happen after the event. So the full library of on-demand episodes will be available in all episodes as soon as the conference starts. Until then, check out some of the episodes that our data partners have sponsored. So essentially on-demand episodes are just stuff that you can just go in and watch. And then they've also got Tableau partners who are sponsoring their own episodes. This will sort of fill up as stuff starts to happen on the actual conference. So these are the Tableau partners. Tableau partners do a great So these are the Tableau partners. Tableau partners do lots of great things with Tableau and alongside Tableau as well, in collaboration with Tableau. And go ahead and check all of these out. These people are all doing really exciting things. So by all means, go and find out what each of them is about. Snowflake is obviously one I'm pretty passionate about. We might have seen Alltrix on here. Did we see Alltrix on here? Sometimes Alltrix have been a pretty big sponsor. There it is. Alltrix is on-demand level partners. So there you go. The two products that I think I'm going to be talking a lot about are going to be on there, which is great. They're also filtered into these different categories as well, in case you want to sort of make them easier to sort of filter. So that's pretty much the Tableau conference webpage set up. Everything is pretty much good to go. And now you're ready for conference. So last few things before we go. Make sure you go on, make sure you register, set yourself up, get your schedule set up. Once you've set up your schedule, I encourage you to put it in your calendar. Now, in past years, you've actually been able to send yourself a calendar invite for each of these events. If I go to this particular one, here's the opening keynote. You can see the additional times for different time zones. So that makes a lot of sense. But if I go back, this doesn't seem to be a way you can add this to your calendar invite. Oh, there it is. It's on the top left. I was being blind. So what I recommend you do is you do this, because what this will do is it will actually open up your calendar and put it into the right time zone. So earlier on, when I said that this was actually the UK time, this time here, 5 p.m. to 6:15, it is correct. Even though this is the American broadcast, This is the UK time. So the Tableau doing some good things with this time to make sure that it's showing me the relevant time, even though the American session is at an American time. It's sort of a weird thing to explain. But this is a great way of adding it to your calendar. And then once you've added it to your calendar, it's pretty much good to go and you're ready to take part in the conference. So go to your schedule. Once you've added everything in, religiously go and add them to your calendar. Okay. But nonetheless, that's pretty much it. We've got the keynote, we've got devs on stage on November the 11th, and yeah, we'll catch you at conference. Be sure to catch our live stream. We have so much planned. We think it's going to be so much fun. We're going to be on the streams, doing as much as we can to entertain you, just to give a bit of an alternative perspective to the conference. But until then, hopefully we'll catch you soon.